First and foremost, good evening or good afternoon, depending on where you're calling in from. Thank you all for being here. My name is Jenny, and I am the co-chair of the Young Leadership Council at the Bassler Center for BRCA. Our mission is to engage with the groundbreaking work of the Bassler Center, stay informed, and foster a supportive community, which is a big part of why we have David here with us tonight. We also raise funds to support research, and we award an annual Young Investigator grant to an early career scientist at Penn Medicine. This year, our $20,000 grant was generously matched by Mindy and John Gray, which allows us to give two $30,000 grants this year to Anne Marie McCarthy and Carmen Lee at Penn Medicine, which is just awesome. We will pop the link in the chat for anyone who is interested in learning more about the YLC or wants to donate directly to the YLC fund. Beyond research and advocacy, we also recognize the importance of self-care, particularly when dealing with hereditary cancer that can induce stress for any of us. And so I'm very honored to introduce David de la Paz, my friend and an incredible wellness therapist. David is an instructor in residence at Rancho La Puerta in Tecate, Mexico, which is where we first met. And from the moment we connected, I knew he was someone really special, and I think you all will too. And so David will guide us through a practice designed to help us all stretch and find balance after a long day. So thank you all so much for being here. And David, most of all, thank you. So I'll turn it over to you.
Well, hello, everyone. I feel honored to have been invited. And the purpose of this practice, which is a sequence of movements that I designed over the years, they facilitate the movement of energy through your body. It's based on ancient traditions like Qigong and yoga, because in Chinese medicine, as well as Hindu philosophy, they consider there is a flow of life force that effortlessly moves through you. In Chinese medicine, they call it the qi, and in yoga, they call it the prana. And so I've designed a sequence of exercises that introduce a little gentle swiveling of your joints and a lot of mobility for the spine. And you're going to notice that it will makes you feel refreshed, relaxed, and lighter all over. So we're going to start sitting up. So make sure that you have a chair, and I'm going to ask for you to sit all the way forward towards the front of your chair. In fact, you will be sitting so far forward towards the front of your chair that you may feel as if you're about to fall off the edge of the chair. But of course, make sure that you are still supported over both your sit bones. Yeah. Now look down at your feet and have your feet a bit wider than the chair itself, and have your feet slightly towards the front of your knee. What I'm trying to achieve is that I want my knee flexion to be more open. I don't want to be at a 90-degree angle of flexion in my knee. I want to have a much more open flexion. That therefore my feet are slightly moving further forward than the alignment of my shin bone. Yeah. And now with your hands, pull the flesh of your buttocks towards the back of your space. what we are trying to do, we are trying to remove the muscles from underneath the sit bone. So often when you sit down, you sit on top of your muscles, and that soft tissue keeps you from feeling the weight that is resting over your sit bones. So just notice if the weight over your sit bones now feels more even. Excellent. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Just take a deep breath in and a quiet breath out. And try to feel your toes with your mind's eyes. Try to feel your toes and start wiggling your toes as if you were playing the piano with your toes. And try to stretch the webbing between the toes. Imagine that you are moving energy from the heel through the sole of your feet towards your toenails. And also try to draw the ball of the foot, stretch it away from the heel, so the arch feels longer. Stay there. Now, my feet are not going to move from the floor, but I'm just going to traction on them as if I was doing some cross-country skiing. So one foot will gently traction forward and the other foot will traction back and then switch. And as I said, my feet are not really moving, but I'm tractioning. So I notice there's energy moving forward and back as if I was doing some cross-country skiing. Now let that energy that you're moving from your feet, let it enter the inside of your leg. And you may start feeling a gentle flow of energy moving up the inside of your leg towards your pelvic floor. And you may be familiar with Kegel pelvic floor contractions. So give me one of those Kegels, but take this into account. Everything we do here today, I want you to use only 40% of your strength. The 60% of the strength that you are not applying, we are going to let the chi take care of it. So you will be moving as if you were using 100% of your power, but your own is only 40% of it. So try to be gentle. And as you keep doing that gentle cross-country skiing with your feet, let the pelvis swivel from side to side. Yeah. You're going to notice that if you liberate the pelvis, that's exactly what the pelvis wants to do. It wants to swivel. So it feels as if I'm rotating over my sit bones. Now place the hands around your pelvic bone, and you are going to pull upwards around the pelvic bone as if you were lifting a pot. And obviously you are simply pulling up on the skin, but the skin is connected to the bone. So wherever the skin goes, the bone will follow. My feet keep tractioning as if I was doing some cross-country skiing. I feel the energy moving up the inside of my leg into my pelvic floor for a Kegel pelvic floor contraction, and my pelvis keeps swiveling, and I keep pulling up on the skin around the pelvis as if trying to lift the pelvis off the chair. Now place one hand over your pubic bone and another hand on your sacrum. And you're going to lift the skin from the pubic bone up towards your belly button. And you're going to lift the skin across your sacrum. And the pelvis keeps swiveling. You're lifting the skin and the pelvis feels lighter. Then switch hands and place one hand over your belly button and the other hand across your lower back. With the hand behind me, I am lifting up. So I'm pulling on the skin across the lower back, intending to lift the lower back and decompress the vertebrae. With the hand at front, I'm going to breathe out and gently draw the belly button in towards the spine. So I'm supporting the longer lower back with my belly button. Now move your hands upwards towards your side ribs. And I would like you to focus on the back of the rib cage. Try to visualize your kidneys at the back of the rib cage. And you are now swiveling from your kidneys. You're swiveling from the bottom ribs, and with your hands, you are lifting up. You're trying to lift the ribs on the right side and lift the ribs on the left. And you are swiveling from your kidneys. And you are growing taller on the right side of your torso and taller on the left. Taller through the back of the ribs and taller through the front. Now cross your arms over your collarbones and try to feel the corner of the shoulders. And this time, allow the collarbone and the shoulder blades to translate the swiveling that is coming from your feet across the inside of your leg, into your pelvic floor, across your sacrum, belly button, into the lower back, across my kidneys, the ribs floating up higher. And now my shoulder carriage is translating that energy, turning it into a rotation. Remember that you are using only 40% of your effort. The 60% you are leaving for the energy flowing up the spine. And then finally move your hands towards the back of your head and neck. And you are going to pull up, gently pulling up on the back of your head, the back of your neck, relaxing your chin down. Now let your head and neck translate the swiveling, the gyration that you initiated from your feet, performing that cross-country skiing. The energy keeps flowing effortlessly up the inside of your leg, into your pelvic floor, sacrum, belly button, kidneys, side ribs, shoulder blades, collarbones, corner of the shoulders, translated into the neck and head. And finally, stretch both arms up towards the sky. And you are going to create opposing force, the right foot pressing gently down into the mat and the right arm reaching up. Then the left foot pressing gently and the left arm reaching up. My spine keeps swiveling. My arms keep reaching up towards the stars. My feet are tractioning on the mat. Breathe. Let the breath flow effortlessly. And circle the arms down and center yourself. Stay here with me for a moment and notice the tingling across your body. It may feel as if your spine continues swiveling. It may feel as if you are still spinning. Let that energy spread all across your body into every single cell, mimicking your breath. Excellent. Now stay here with me, and we're going to let the energy this time flow from the center of your chest, from your heart and lungs. We're going to get it to flow outwards towards the webbing between the fingers. Yes? But I'm going to start from the inside of the throat. So relax your tongue. Relax the inside of your throat. Notice the empty space towards the back of your mouth. And let that empty space expand out towards the corner of your shoulders. Take the right shoulder forward and let it roll forward and down. Now, with your left hand, you are going to assist the shoulder blade. So place the left hand over the right shoulder blade and gently pull on the shoulder blade away from the spine. You are offering your shoulder blade the possibility to travel further away from the spine. The spine starts to curl down. Now, with your left hand, go over the collarbone, over the clavicle, soften and drop and melt the clavicle down. Then move your hand to the sternum. In between your breasts, there's that one bone. Now soften the sternum and gently push it back towards the space between the shoulder blades. Breathe out and let the sternum gently scoop towards the back of the ribcage. And then return to an upright spine. Now the left shoulder, melting forward and down. With your right hand, feel the shoulder blade, and you're going to guide the shoulder blade gently away from the spine, creating more space between the shoulder blade and the spine, facilitating that space. And then with your hand, go over the collarbone and soften that bone, your clavicle. Soften and drop and melt your clavicle down. Then bring the hand to the sternum. Soften the sternum and push it in towards the space between the shoulder blades. And return to the upright spine. Lengthen your neck. Perfect. Now we're moving in the opposite direction. So with the corner of the right shoulder, I'm going to pull the corner of the shoulder towards the wall behind me. The shoulder is rolling back. Feel the shoulder blade pulling in towards the spine. So the right shoulder blade is almost pinching my vertebrae, allowing for the right breast to turn up towards the ceiling. Also, press the back of the arm towards the wall behind you, bending your elbow, the hand gliding on your thigh. Squeeze that shoulder blade in towards the spine. Now press down with your right foot Press with the right foot. Send the energy up towards the right kidney and lift the back of the rib cage from your kidney, from your sacrum, upwards. Look up towards the ceiling and return to an upright spine. Now the left shoulder, the corner of the shoulder pulling towards the corner of the room. And then the back of the shoulder pressing further back to the wall behind you. The back of your arm pressing to the wall behind you. The elbow is bending, the hand is resting on your thigh. Now let that left breast turn up towards the ceiling. Squeeze the shoulder blade closer and closer to the spine. Press down with your left foot. Lift up from the left kidney and return to neutral. Excellent. Now both shoulders rolling forward. Both shoulder blades will pull away from the spine. Soften the clavicles, melting your clavicles down and away from your jaw. Tuck your chin, drop your head, look down at your pubic bone, and push the sternum in and towards the back of the spine. Move the sternum towards the space between the shoulder blades. Keep curling the upper back. Now swivel the shoulders, the right shoulder pulling further forward, and then the left shoulder pulling further forward, and again the right shoulder. So I'm just swiveling once again from the shoulder carriage, one side at a time towards the screen, and then curl the spine up. Return to your upright spine. Yes. We move in reverse. Now pull the right shoulder towards the back of your space. Pull the left shoulder towards the back of your space. Squeeze both shoulder blades in closer to the spine, lifting your breast up towards the ceiling. Pull the back of the arm towards the back wall. Keep the hands closer to your hips. Lift from your kidneys. Let your head drop back. Stretch the bottom of your jaw. Take a deep breath to the top of your chest. And exhale, return to your upright spine. Guess what? We are now going to combine both sides. So take the right shoulder forward first, melting the collarbone down, pressing the sternum in towards the space between the shoulder blades. Now from that position, the left shoulder will press back. The left shoulder is moving in the opposite direction. The back of the left shoulder moving towards the wall behind you. And the spine is shifting from curling into arching. You keep pulling the left shoulder blade in towards the spine and lift the left breast up towards the sky, arching the thoracic spine, and return to neutral. Initiating now from the left shoulder. The left shoulder is rolling forward. The shoulder blade is melting down. The collarbone softens and drops. Tuck your chin, look at your belly button, scoop the sternum in. From that shape, the right shoulder is taking over. The right shoulder is rolling back, pressing towards the wall behind you. The right shoulder blade squeezing in towards the spine, and the spine is shifting from rounding to arching. The right breast is turning up towards the sky. Look up at the ceiling and return. Excellent. Well done. Now, we are going to perform that same figure 8 with both shoulders, but I'm just going to pick up the pace. So let's see if we can fit in 4 repetitions, initiating with a different shoulder each time. So here we go, hands on your thighs. It's the exact same thing. Start with the right shoulder rolling forward, the collarbone melting, the spine rounding. Now the left shoulder is taking over. Press the left shoulder towards the back. Squeeze the shoulder blade in towards the spine. The left breast is turning up towards the sky. Return to neutral. Now initiate with the left shoulder rolling forward. The left collarbone is melting down. The right shoulder is taking over, rolling back. The right shoulder blade squeezing in towards the spine, lifting the right breast up and center back to neutral. And again, the right shoulder rolling forward, shoulder blade pulling away from the spine. The spine is rounding. The left shoulder is taking over, pulling back. The left shoulder blade squeezing in towards the spine. The left breast is turning on up towards the ceiling. And return back to neutral. Initiate now with your left shoulder rolling forward. The shoulder blade melting, the collarbone melting, the spine curling. The right shoulder is taking over, pulling back. The right shoulder blade squeezing in towards the spine. The right breast is now turning up. Excellent. And back to center. Well done. Well done. Bring both arms down by your side. And now I focus on the upper arm bone. Yes? And I try to move the arm bone, spinning in the shoulder socket. This time, the arm bone spinning in towards my sternum, towards my chest, and then spinning back so the shoulder blades seem to pull in towards each other. But I'm commanding from the arm, the shoulder blades simply follow. So my arms spinning forward, that's an internal rotation of your arm bone. And then external rotation of the arm bone. Internal rotation in your arm. And then external rotation. Yes. Now lengthen the spine. Press down with your feet. See if you can feel taller on all 4 sides of the spine. And go back to those spinning arms. Internal rotation. External rotation. Press down with your feet. The spine keeps growing taller. Internal rotation. External rotation. Internal rotation. Now stay here in that internal rotation and reach forward with both arms. So the back of my hands are facing each other and the spine is curling again. Then bring the arms down. Externally rotate the arm bone and scoop them down and back. Lift your chest. Bring the arms down. Internally rotate the arms. Scoop them forward towards the camera. Bring them down. Externally rotate the arms. Scoop them down and back. Yes. Internally rotate. Bring them forward. Now, when you bring them forward, this time, try to reach it further forward with the right arm. The right arm is reaching further forward. The shoulder blade is pulling away from the spine. Now the left arm is reaching further forward. The shoulder blade pulling away from the spine. Return to the upright neutral spine. Drop the arms. Now externally rotate both arms. Scoop them down and back. Lift your chest. Arch the spine. Stretch the front of the shoulder. Now the right arm will reach further back, and then the left arm reaching further back, and return. Excellent. Now the arms will spin in opposition to each other. So the right arm will externally rotate while the left arm internally rotates. They are opposing each other. Go ahead, press them out and away from each other. With your right arm, you are reaching further back. With your left arm, you are pulling towards the camera. The shoulder blades are pulling away from each other. Bring them down. Now spin them in opposition to each other. The left arm laterally rotating, the right arm medially rotating or internally. Then press them away from each other. The right arm that is internally rotating is reaching towards the camera. And the left arm laterally rotating is reaching further back. The shoulder blades pull away from each other and bring them down. It takes a little bit of choreography, but over time, it starts to feel easier and easier. It becomes your second nature. Go ahead, spin both arms in opposition to each other. Right arm externally rotating, left arm internally rotating. The one that internally rotates reaches towards the camera. The one that externally rotates will pull back in the opposite direction. Now pull them both away from each other. Pull the shoulder blades away from each other. Stretch the ribs. Come back to center. Spin the arms in opposition to each other. Scoop them down and back. The right arm that is internally rotating is reaching towards the camera. The left arm is externally rotating, pulling back. Have them pulling away from each other. Have the shoulder blades pull away from each other. Stretch out the webbing between the fingers. Stretch your palm. Come back to center. Ah, well done. Now have your feet wider than your chair and legs fully turned out. With your hands, help your thigh into a greater turnout. So I'm pulling the skin over my leg and towards the back of the room on both my thighs, from the inside over the leg towards the back of the room. Make sure that you are not sitting on top of your buttocks. Pull your buttocks towards the back and bare your sit bones. Yeah, stay here. Now take the right arm up towards the sky. With your left hand, feel the bottom ribs and lift the ribs. Elevate those ribs. Pull the skin upwards. Bend your elbow. Now go ahead, turn it into a greater side flexion. Take a deep breath in towards the right lung. Exhale, come up. Lower that arm. The left arm reaching up. Feel the ribs on the left side and pull them up. Elevate those ribs. Then flex the elbow, hand behind your head. Turn it into a side flexion. Take a deep breath into the left lung. Come back to center. Once again, the right arm reaching up. Feel the ribs. Help them up. Lift those ribs. Bend the elbow. Go ahead, cycle. Yeah, this time, place your left forearm on your thigh. And you are going to press the back of the right shoulder towards the wall behind you. The back of the right shoulder. Then press the right elbow further back. Rotate your chest. Look up at the ceiling. Press down with your feet. Lift up from your kidneys. From the back of the ribcage, you're lifting higher. Back to face the camera. Stretch the arm over your head. Be more intentional with that arm and hand, and come up. Left arm, reach up. Feel the ribs up on the left side. Bend your elbow, hand behind your head. Have your right forearm on your thumb. Now, the back of the left shoulder towards the wall behind you. Left elbow towards the wall behind you. Lift your chest. Lift from the back of the ribcage. Look up at the ceiling. Come back to face the camera. Be more intentional with your left arm over your head. And come back up. Yes. Here we go. The right arm reaching up. The ribs floating up. Side bending. This is the last exercise. Let your head drop, the left ear coming closer to the left shoulder. Actively pressing with your right hand. Stay here with me. Now take that right arm down underneath, in between your legs, and grab onto the left leg of the chair. Grab onto the left leg of the chair and pull with your right arm so the ribcage will twist and drop and curl. Return to your upright spine, articulating from bottom to top. Yes, well done. Left arm, reach up. Have the ribs floating, expanding. Take a deep breath in towards the left lung. Take that arm forward, down, in between your legs, and grab onto the right leg of the chair. The right leg of the chair, gently pull with that arm, twisting the spine, rotating, dropping, curling. Drop your head. Return to face the camera. And upright spine. Well done. Now sit here with me for a moment. In the same way that we started, have your feet slightly towards the front of your shin bone. And I'm going to take the lead from Jenny because she was organically not thinking about it. She was placing one hand over her chest. So go ahead and place one hand over your chest and place one hand over the solar plexus. That is the bottom side of the ribcage. And just sit here with me and breathe. Rest your eyelids. Relax your face. Release your jaw. Relax your tongue, allowing for your tongue to grow larger inside your mouth. Relax the inside of your throat. And notice the effortless flow of your breath. There is no need to command the breath. As long as you provide the empty space at the back of your mouth, inside your throat, as long as you provide that empty space, the breathing, the life flow will find it and flow effortlessly. In the same way that you notice the empty space towards the back of your mouth and inside your throat, notice the empty space that you promoted and facilitated along the spine, in between your vertebrae, along the spinal cord, in between the ribs, the space across your collarbones, the space in your shoulder sockets, the space in between the shoulder blades, the space in your pelvis, your hips, and let the life flow, the chi, the prana, let it flow effortlessly through the empty space that you provide. That life force has a purpose and it knows exactly what to do when given the chance and provided the space. Thank you all for choosing to spend some time with me today. It's a great honor. Namaste.